Hi and welcome to Giggles and Yarn, my crochet channel. This is Nelly from South Africa. Welkom by Giggles en Gare. Bienvenue à Tutti Chaka. So during the past few years I've made more than 50 teddies. I've given most of them away just as presents, and it is such fun. So I've adjusted the pattern so often that, truth be told, I cannot truly remember the basic teddy pattern. It was a article in our local village newspaper where I found this teddy pattern. It was actually a knitting pattern which I adjusted for crochet, and so if I seem to struggle to remember how many stitches of this and that, please bear with me. It's because I've played around with the size so often. So here, if you follow along, it will be okay in terms of the size and the number of stitches and number of rows. Have fun! So today we are making part 2 of this huggy-arm teddy that we're making with our scrap yarns. This will be the end product, and this is the basic teddy pattern. We've been using our scrap yarns mostly, and last time in part 1 this is how far we got. So let's continue with part 2, where we are going to do the mirror part of the teddy. We're just going to repeat everything that we did so far, but just in mirror image. Enjoy! So it's actually 16 stitches for the face. It's not 8. It is 8 times their back, 16 total in the one color. And then for the back part of the face, it's another 16. So I've changed colors several times, and this stretch between the two sets of arms is 32 rows of 12 stitches across. So if you've not made 16 here, continue making another set of 8 rows and then another set of 16 with the color changing for the back. So that will be your neck and head like that. And now let's make the second set of arms. Take a color of your choice and pull up a loop and chain 1. Now just for here, I'm going to tie these two together because we're going to chain 50 now, and I don't want it to come loose. But if you're doing the normal teddy, you're only going to chain 8. So that will be 8 if you're doing the normal teddy, and that'll be the length of your arm. So you'll simply go back across and single crochet across, make another chain of 8 on this side for the other arm, come back with single crochets and keep on single crocheting across like this for 4 rows. But for me, I'm going to make 50 chains, and then I'll be single crocheting across, and I'll meet you here. So now I've come across all the way. I've done my 50 chains for my huggy arm, and then I've come back all the way with single crochets, and now I've come across the body with 12 single crochets up to here, and now I'm going to make 50 chains for my next arm, and then I'll come back all the way up to here again with single crochets. But if you're only making the normal teddy, it's 8. You'll make 8 chains and come back with single crochets. And then you don't have to stop here. You can just keep going across all the way to the end of the one arm, and with single crochets, back with single crochets all the way to the other arm, back and forth with single crochets, 4 rows. And I'll meet you there. So now I've finished my second set of arms. Remember we did for the huggy-arm 50 chains, and then came back with single crochets all across to the other arm. At the end of the other arm, back and forth with single crochets, and in the end I did 6 rows because of my small crochet hook. So now I've also completed 3 rows of the body. So if you here just continue with 3 rows of 12 stitches for the body, and then we will do the legs together. So you can pause the video and do your 3 rows. So now let's do the legs together. Take a color of your choice and pull up a loop. If you want to, you can make your first stitch, your hook up just with both strands if you want it more secure. So far in this video I've only used a single strand, but if you want to use both strands and then you just continue on with one like that. Now remember, when we start the row we make a chain, and then we're going to single crochet into that same space. Now we're only going to do half a stitches, and then we're going to crochet the leg. So continue for 5 more stitches. One more. So now this is 12 stitches across, remember, so one leg's going to be 6 stitches. So at this point we've made 6 single crochets, and now chain 1, turn your work, and now we're going to make several rows for the leg. You know, as I've been making my teddies, I played around with the number of rows to make bigger and smaller teddies. I played around with the hook size, etc. So but now for this leg we're going to just measure it as we get to the desired length. So make a single crochet into this corner space and make single crochets across. come to the end of this leg, end of this row, second row of the leg. Now remember to chain 1 and turn. So, you know, it looks to me like this row was more than 6 stitches, it was actually more than 10, rows. So what you can do is, while you're crocheting, just crochet until these two legs measure up, probably 10 rows because of the small yarn needle. So continue crocheting until your leg on that side is the same as the legs on this side. Single crochet all the way across, and I'll meet you at the end. So now I've made several rows. I'm measuring it here, and I can see that I still have to make a few rows there, but I'm stopping because I've come to the end of my yarn here, or well, I'm soon at the end of my yarn. So I could change colors because this is a fun multicolored teddy, but I do have some more of the same color. So I'm just going to tie them together like so. So I'll just put the two strands next to each other, and then I'm going to roll it through my finger and pull both through like that. And then I just pull very, very tight, as tight as you can, and cut. Close, close, close. It won't loosen. So we won't let this show. We'll try and get it on the inside of the teddy. So continue your leg until it measures perfectly to the legs we've already made. So now I'm at the end of my desired length. I've made about 12 rows, and so this is the end of your first teddy leg, and you can just end off, cut your yarn and pull through. So let's make the other teddy. So you have your right side like this there. Remember, this was my first leg, and now I'm continuing with my other teddy leg on this side. So I just insert my hook in the next stitch. These two legs don't have to touch. You don't have to lock them in any way. So just insert your hook in the stitch next to the teddy leg, one leg, and repeat this whole leg all the way. Single crochets across all the way until it measures up with this leg, and I'll meet you at the end of your second leg. Remember, at the end, chain 1 and turn, and continue all the way until it's the same length as this leg. I've come to the end of my other teddy leg, and I've measured it up against each other, and they're the same length. So it's really not a big deal if it's a little bit, if it's not all the stitches that, you know, we say. It's you can play around with your teddy. Because it's huggy arms, there's no real dimensional kind of balance that need to be achieved here. It's if it's, even if they was shorter, it would have still be perfect. All right, so now we just end off our last teddy leg. Make a chain, cut your yarn and pull through, and there we have our teddy. So all we're going to do still is start with the outline to sew them together, to sew the two sides together. We're going to just fit everything on top of each other, all the legs and the arms, fold the whole thing in double. This is my right side on the outside, and then we will start sewing the teddy together and stuffing it, and that's going to be lots of fun. But before we sew it together, we're going to make the face. So I'll see you when we make the face. Until next time, tot volgende keer. A bientôt!